Okay.
Yes.
Hello. Hello. How is your name? Just to wear my glasses.
And can you hear me well?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. So, which is your name?
Nerijus. I will let you know. Yeah.
Nerijus, will you start?
Yeah, I will start. As we talk with George, like I will start, I will introduce like the specific things like about the webinar.
Yes, because we had a meeting with Veronica and can discuss about the structure. Yeah, I think, it's simple, I think. Okay.
Yeah, because
so we are expecting the students now, correct?
Yeah, we're going to wait probably another maybe 4 or 5 minutes while we see like when they have joined. And the thing is like that Veronica, she has funeral and she couldn't like take part today. So I was the person to get in charge after her. So the way probably we're going to do like first I will start like and after you could pick up and when we finish they will have like questions and we could like have open discussion.
Yes.
Yeah, the first part will be covered by you about Greece and Thessaloniki city. And then the presentation will end with Zoe. And after that, there are some parts about for student services, for example, about accommodation, which, I don't know, you want me to continue from Zoe without the presentation and talk about them, or you want to start the Q&A and answer all of those things into the Q&A session? You have muted yourself.
Yes.
Nerijus, you have muted yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
So probably the best thing is to do like after Zoe will finish, probably you, George, could just tell some tricky things like, and after we can go to like QA session.
Okay.
If somebody is already participating, could you please just type me that you can hear me?
Εμείς δεν βλέπουμε. Ποιος συμμετέχει, τι λέει αυτός ο organizer.
Perfect, Zana. You can hear us. That's perfect. So I suppose like that we can wait another maybe 2-3 minutes while the rest of the people will join us, and probably we're going to start maybe 35 past 3. So at the moment you can just take, I don't know, a cup of tea, a cup of water, and join after 5 minutes. Yep, that's perfect. So who just joined us? I mentioned like that we're gonna start after 35 past 3, so it's another maybe 3 minutes. So have a patience and we will start. Okay, so I suppose like that we can start, and from the beginning I will introduce myself and my colleagues, Zoe and George. So today we're gonna represent you studies in Greece. And at the beginning I will tell some interesting things about the Greece and some selling points. And after Zoe and George will take over the discussion. And when the discussion gonna be over, if you're gonna have some questions, we're gonna leave some time. You're gonna be able to type your questions, and we're gonna be answering them. So take patience, listen very carefully, and find the interesting things about the Greece. And like as I mentioned, afterwards you could type, or you can type even questions during the discussion, and we'll answer them later. So I'll introduce myself first. I'm Nerijus. I'm regional manager at Kalba. I'm already working 12 years with the studies abroad, and during many years I have helped many students to travel abroad. And when we're talking about the Greece, that is one of the nicest destinations you can get to get your degree. And probably when we hear the word Greece, we'll think about the holiday. Probably from now on, when you're going to hear the word Greece, you can think about the education. And many times, many students, like when they're coming over to me and we are discussing why they are going to travel, many times I have heard like they would like to have a nice climate to study, because most of the students always were traveling. I think maybe 90% they were traveling to Great Britain and studying in English universities. From now on, like when you're going to hear those options, probably it's going to be very attractive for all of you, because you can get English education and you can get it in Greece. So if we're going to follow, first of all, of course, like all of you, you are potentially going to be studying in English. So you can be sure like that there's some study programs which you can take in English while you're going to be studying in Greece. By the fact it's really low tuition fee comparing like with British universities. And when I mentioned like that you're going to get education, British education, which Zoe and George will introduce you, compare us with the Great Britain, it's quite way cheaper than you can get. Of course, like when you think about the Greece, I have been there twice. It's amazing country. And it's mentioned like internationally friendly. I can make you sure that's definitely it is the way it's mentioned. And one of the best facts, like you can see, it's more than 250 days of sunshine. So if I taught myself like where to go to study, definitely Greece would be one of the options, like favorite ones. Not even like of the sunshine, but like was like friendly population for the foreigners while you're studying there. And we today going to be talk about Saloniki. It's the second largest city in Greece. And as I mentioned, like you're going to be studying in Greece, but education and certificate you're going to receive from Sunderland University, which is amazing. And when you're going to be finishing your studies and when you're going to be thinking about like your future and where to get a job, which country to choose. Probably when you're getting such a kind of education, which is worldwide known, like it doesn't matter where you're going to be traveling. Are you going to be traveling to UK or any country of the Europe? Or maybe some of you will plan to stay in Greece and find a job in Greece. Maybe someone from you are going to be traveling around the world and maybe travel to UK or Australia. It's really amazing to get such education, which is worldwide recognized. Also, it's fantastic possibility for you, because many of my students are asking me, Nerijus, would it be possible for me to work during my studies? And I'm always comparing these things, like what it's like in Latvia, what it's like in Lithuania, because today, like, we have participants from Lithuania and Latvia. I'm always explaining, because it's quite different from studying in our own countries, in Lithuania or Latvia, because it's really hard to find a job during the studies, because there's you have to attend classes all 5 days, like from Monday to Friday, and the schedule is like, probably most of the times I see it's like from 9 to 6, and it has some free windows, like, which you don't need to participate in the lectures, but like there's no possibility to work. So it's quite different when you're studying abroad, and especially like in Greece, in such a kind of British education, where you have potentially many hours to work. And probably Zoe and George, like, they will tell you these things. And the most attractive things like that is Saloniki is one of the most affordable cities in Europe. So when you're traveling abroad, like, you need to count like your costs for everything. How much studies cost? Will I have to able to have a job? How much accommodation cost? How much I will make? How much food cost? What kind of job I could do? And most of you, when you're traveling abroad, and some of you which are going to go to Greece, you're going to be working in coffees, coffee shops, restaurants, hotels, bars, shops, sometimes some of you getting job at the university. That is that kind of jobs you're going to be working during your studies. So when it's very touristic place, there's a lot of job opportunities during your studies, and it's really way easier to study abroad most of the times than study at your own country, when you count your budget with the opportunity to have a job during your studies. Fun facts about the Greece. It's probably most of you know the Greece, and the capital is Athens. The population is over 10,000. The local language is Greek language. So there's one more perfect opportunity during your studies to learn Greek language. And I know many students, like, who are choosing, like, let's say, studies in Germany and studies in Greece, and when during their study they learn the local language, they have way more possibilities and opportunities in the future to get some specific jobs which has connections with those countries. Maybe of you, you're going to decide, like, to stay in Greece. So you have perfect possibility during your studies to learn Greece. And after those 3 years of studies, you can be fluent in Greece. And even if you're going to come back to Lithuania or come back to Latvia, there's many international companies, like, related to Greece and have relationship with Greece. So maybe that's going to be a part of your job opportunity if you're going to learn the language. About Saloniki, it's like called the second capital by the Greeks, by themselves, since it's only the second largest city of the Greece after Athens, but also capital of North Greece and Macedonia. It is beautiful, situated by the sea, and you see the picture of itself. So when I see the picture and looking outside the window, I really would like to be there now and get sunshine, not the first snow which you got just in Lithuania. So about those things, like Zoe and George, like, they will introduce themselves like way more, because they're locals and they will know more things about it. Also, like, when you are students, like, it's part also of the studies, it's nightlife. Of course, like, when you are a student, like, that the best time you can have ever. So nightlife in Saloniki is fantastic, and you see, like, the pictures, but also it's kind of like very attractive place, like, with loads of bars, restaurants, nightclubs, where the best world-known DJs are coming to play the gigs. So if you measure everything, studies, education, recognizability, job opportunities, nightlife, climate, I say it's fantastic destination. And when our webinar will be over, probably you're going to have better view of what you can get studying in Greece, especially in Saloniki. So I'm giving word to Zoe and George. And as I mentioned before, when we will be over the discussion, you could ask many questions as you want, and we will try to answer all of those questions.
Okay. Hello to all of you. I am Zoe, and I'm head of admissions at AAS College in Thessaloniki, Greece. I will try to explain to you what AAS could offer to you. AAS established in 1990, more than 30 years ago, and since the beginning is a specialized college in design area. Started collaboration with British universities and institutions since 2005, and today has a full franchise collaboration with the University of Sunderland. It is a study center of the University of Sunderland. It is an approved center of SQA, Scottish Qualification Authority, and both partnerships, as I told you before, is full franchise. The degrees or diplomas that our students gain are British degrees or diplomas. Could you please move to the next slide? Okay, so the University of Sunderland, we specialized in the partnership with the University of Sunderland is in design field. Because of the full franchise of partnerships, our students have a lot of benefits. I will try to inform you about some of them. You will get, if you apply to a design program of the University of Sunderland, you will get admission offer letter from the academic staff of the University of Sunderland. During your study, you will be a University of Sunderland student. You will have student number, student username, a University of Sunderland student email address. You will have access to e-resources of the university, e-libraries, etc., or Canvas, and you will study the same program like your classmate in UK. You will be assessed by the academic staff of the University of Sunderland and get feedback from them. And at the end of the successful completion of your study, you will get Universities of Sunderland degree. After your graduation, you will belong to the alumni of the University of Sunderland. That means that you will have many work opportunities which be the same like your classmate that studied in the main campus of the university in UK. And because we are in design field, that means you can find work everywhere in the world. The British degrees have a good brand name in the international market, and they are very recognized and popular. Okay. Could you please? Yes. Yes, this is in the picture you can see a sample of the University of Sunderland degree. I think this one, it's a master degree, but the bachelor, it's a similar one. And you can see what I have just told you earlier. Okay. Also, I could say that with the University of Sunderland, if you want, you can study 2 years at AAS College in Thessaloniki, Greece, and after that you could transfer in for the top-up year in the main campus of the university in UK, if you want to have some British experience as well. The other partnership we have, it is with Scottish Qualification Authority, an organization in Glasgow, Scotland. We are an approved center of SQA, and we offer programs in advanced diploma level and in business, hospitality management, computer science, and interior design. What are the benefits if you choose to study an advanced diploma program? You have easier admission, lower tuition fees, and low cost of living, because if you compare the cost of living in Greece and especially in Thessaloniki with other North European countries, you will find that it is very low. If you complete this 2-year diploma program, there are many opportunities to further continue with studies in the top-up year and get a bachelor degree. You can continue here in Greece and get a bachelor from the University of Sunderland. You can transfer to UK at the main campus of Sunderland and finish your study and get the bachelor degree. Also, there are many opportunities in many countries worldwide because SQA has many articulation agreements with many universities in many countries. And you have to apply there and get admission in the top-up year. We try to make this study journey as smooth as possible with the diploma to degree program. Okay, yes, this is. You can have your diploma at AAS College, as I told you earlier. You can continue in the top-up year here in Greece, or at Sunderland in UK, or in any other university in UK, in the rest of Europe, in Canada, in Australia, or in any other country that SQA has articulation agreements with the universities there. Okay, yes. The entry requirements for bachelor programs is, the application form of AAS to be completed, your passport, evidence of your proficiency in English. University of Sunderland prefers the IELTS test result of 6, your high school diploma and transcript translated in English, and a portfolio, a design portfolio with samples of your drawing and creative work. These requirements are similar to master programs. In master programs, of course, you need to submit your previous degree, from previous education degree and transcript translated in English. The IELTS of 6 is the same, not higher. Of course, a portfolio of your design work. and passport, and I think a CV if you have to provide some work experience. And that's all.
That's great, Zoe. And I think that George now could tell us a bit more about like the living cost, about the accommodation, about the job opportunities, about what kind of jobs students can get, and maybe some specific things like about Saloniki for the students who are planning to travel to study.
Thank you, Nerijus. My name is George Siskos and I represent the Student Services Department of AAS College. First of all, as Nerijus said before, Thessaloniki is a beautiful city. It is filled with universities, public and private, and it is filled with students and tens of thousands of international students as well, European and international students. So the student community is very big, and that enhances a lot the student experience, not only with the very active nightlife and bars, coffee shops, etc., but also field trips close to the city, places you will go with other students, and many activities you can do. The city is filled with museums, with a lot of historic monuments, as you might know a little bit about the history of Greece. And as the first photo suggested, very close to the city, a lot of beautiful beaches. So as part of the living in Greece experience, I believe you will have a great time here. As for the living expenses, I also believe you will have a great time here because indeed Thessaloniki, the second biggest city in Greece, is one of the most cost affordable cities in Europe and one of the safest as well. As for accommodation, for example, you can find accommodation from 250 euros, decent accommodation from 250 euros until maximum 450 euros, all included, of course. So there is a great variety, and depending on choices, of course, if it's going to be in the center, big or small, shared or private, etc., always fully furnished. The variation in the price as well can be big. But with an average of 300 euros easy, we can suggest and find options to suggest to all of our students that will come and join us, that we strongly support them by this way, and they can find accommodation with around 300 euros per month. The transportation is also very cheap. For example, a monthly bus card is only 27 euros per month, so that can cover unlimited rides with all the public transportation. And as for food goes, you can go buy, for example, for let's say €1 per day till 50-20 euros per day, depending on choices, of course, if you're going to cook or not. But like an average of 3 to 5 euros per day, you can easily go by in your normal everyday life. So I do believe that in a normal average, not even minimum, of 500 euros per month, 600 euros per month, all of your costs can be totally covered. In combination with the lower tuition fees, but remembering that you will study day by day the UK program, it's a great opportunity, I believe. As for career opportunities, as Nerijus extensively talked about, this country is a touristic country, and we have many students of us that work part-time during the winter or even full-time during the summer. And let me tell you that especially during the summer, I can honestly tell you that you can even cover with your salary the full tuition fees of next year, for example, because salaries during the touristic period are much, much higher, as you understand, due to the fact of the tourists, and much easier to be hired in a job in the touristic industry So I don't believe that working during the studies to support your studies will be a problem here in Greece, especially for Lithuanian and Latvian students that can be affiliated with our culture very easily. And as for career opportunities after the degree, I would like to differentiate a little myself and say that from Nerijus and say that due to the fact that you are going to belong to the alumni of the University of Sunderland, or you will be graduates of the Advanced Diploma of SQA, which is also worldwide recognized, your career opportunities are not limited in Greece and not even Europe. We have a lot of graduates that either continue with studies or hunt for jobs and with success in not only in the UK, but also in the USA, in Canada, and in Australia. Because for example, if you chose an art and design degree from the University of Sunderland, you will have the same opportunities that a student in Sunderland campus, because you will belong in the same alumni, you will have the same opportunities and you will be able, with such a strong degree, to hunt for jobs anywhere in the world. And another trend that is happening, especially for the design degrees, especially in the design area, is that because due to the fact that your presence is not mandatory in these areas, many graduates stay in Greece, which is cheaper, but they work for clients abroad. So their salary is in USA standards, but their costs and everyday living is in sunny Greece. So it's another great opportunity as well. So in general, both during your academic journey, it will be very easy to support yourself if you have the passion to work while studying. And of course, in my opinion, the options after your academic journey are limitless due to the fact that your education is not Greek education. Your education will be British education and British awards and degrees. So it will be very, very valuable. And to emphasize what Nerijus said earlier, indeed, British curriculum suggests that you will have classes around 3 days per week, some hours, 3 to 4 days, yeah, depending on the hours and how many hours per day. But for sure, let's say Friday and the weekend will be always open for you to study, of course, but will be enough hours left, of course, to have a job in the weekends, which is much easier during the winter to get hired part-time for the weekends. So about career opportunities, I don't believe that you will have a problem. More detailed information I can provide according to questions, more specific questions. Nerijus?
Yeah, it was really nice to hear you, George, like when you mentioned like about the time you can spend in the summer, because that's really like a great point like for you students, because you when you count your budget and you think about like how to spread like all those payments like for the studies, and when you counting how much it will cost you totally when you graduate after 3 years of studies, you really can add this very good selling points like if you're going to work during all the summer, like a waiter, for example, where you can get tips and it's really good season, you can make money to pay for your second year. You can make like when
very easily, very like normally, not with extensive work hours and stuff like that, because it's something common here in Greece. It's something common. Even Greeks, we have a lot of Greeks that only work half of the year and live the whole year just with their summer job income. It is very common. And in fact, I have a lot of students that choose not to go back to their home country. They're international students from all around the world. And they choose not to go back during the summer to their home country, but stay in Greece. Have a good time, at the same time work in a touristic industry company, and have double or triple the income they would have in the winter. So, by this sense, I strongly suggest during the winter to focus on the studies, because we shouldn't forget that our tuition fees are much lower than the tuition fees that you would have in the UK, and Mrs. Joy will talk about that in more detail. But at the same time, we must not forget the education, and the degree is UK degree. So it will be for the best benefit of the student to have high grades for an even better, much better salary, career opportunities after graduation.
That's very correct. And even Latvians or Lithuanians, ourselves like that, we have a seaside. And many of you, like when you were like pupil at the 10th grade, 11th grade, maybe some of you already did that kind of experience when during your summer holiday, you went to Palanga or you went to Klaipėda. Lithuanians, for example, Latvians, they went to the seaside place. They've been working. So it's exactly same, just you can count like it's way longer season and way more tourists than in Lithuania or in Latvia, because Greece is that place which attracts like worldwide tourists and huge amount of them. So that's really don't need to travel on your minds to Greece. You can stay in Lithuania and compare that kind of lifestyle. And during your studies, like as George mentioned, like those weekends on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's the perfect time for that kind of jobs which you're going to be working at the bar, pub, club, that kind of jobs. So even if you're going to count and you're going to measure the other countries, even like Europe countries where you're going to travel, always, first of all, what you need to count, like it's accommodation price. When I'm having consultation with the parents of pupil, I'm always indicate like that the biggest amount you will spend a month, it's accommodation.
It's true.
Afterwards, it's travel expenses, which George mentioned also, it's about 27 euros, correct?
27 euros unlimited rides with a monthly bus card. And to be honest, if you live in the city center, because Thessaloniki is not a very spread city, the center is packed, It's like half an hour to walk from one side to the other side of the city center, the core center, where we are located as well. So you might not even need transportation costs. You understand? We have many students that live around the college. And as for accommodation costs, if you choose to share an apartment, a big apartment, with someone else, to have a roommate, the cost really diminishes even more. So I do think it's an opportunity because, again, I'm going to compare it with what you get. And a monthly cost here in Thessaloniki could be the weekly cost you would have in studying in the campus in the UK. Everything else is the same. The curriculum, the project, you said, everything else is...
The scale of the city is human, I think, and the most distances are work and can be done on foot. So it is not the problem in Thessaloniki. I think I see a question here. Julia asked about the tuition fees.
Yeah, there was a question for you.
We have, to inform the students about the cost of the study. We talk a lot about the cost of living. Now let's have some talk about the tuition fees. For bachelor programs in design, the initial tuition fees are 6,800 euros per year, but we offer partial scholarship of 2,000 euros, not just for the first year of study, but for every year of it. That means that you have to pay 4,800 euros per year. You save totally 6,000 euros for the 3-year study, which is a bachelor degree. Yes, this I don't know if Julia is interesting for bachelor, but for master programs, the initial I will I will inform you about the tuition fees for all level of programs. For master programs, the initial tuition fees is 7,500 euros. We offer a partial scholarship of 1,500 euros, and finally the student has to pay just 6,000 euros. And the master programs, the duration is 13 months. That means that it is 3 semesters. It is longer than a bachelor academic year. Bachelor academic year has 2 semesters. So, and the student has to pay 4,800 euros, and for masters, just 6,000 euros. The conditions to get a scholarship, a partial scholarship, is to cover the requirements, to get an unconditional offer, and meet the deadline of application. Okay. Now I think it's time to inform the students about the intakes and some dates during the academic year. For bachelor programs, there are 2 intakes per year. One in winter's intake, the classes start in late January. In this year, start 31st of January 2022. So you have the deadline of application is about 10 of January. Okay, 20 days before the beginning of classes. It is the best extension that we can do. For September's intake, the classes start, just a minute, 26th of September, and the admissions closes about the end of August, not later. Okay, 20th of August, something like that.
And what can I add, Zoe, that for the students who are listening now, I will mention again, like those selling points of Greece and for study programs. If you're going to check the prices now in UK, how much does it cost? The cheapest price you can get even at Sunderland University in UK, it will cost you approximately a bit more than 10,000 per year.
Yeah.
It's at the lowest cost. And it can go up to 30,000 a year. It's pounds, so in euros, about 35,000 per year. Some study programs. So
yes, if we compare the tuition fees at AAS with the tuition fees in UK universities, and if we take the fees of the University of Sunderland, the AAS is the half of the University of Sunderland, and if we compare it with other universities, it is the 1/3, I think.
Yeah, correct. That's correct. It can be even maybe about maybe 5 or 6 times more per year than.
What I can guarantee in one sentence. And not even comparing with other very expensive UK universities, but I think Sunderland is one of the top universities and with normal prices. But what I can guarantee is like studying at AAS, you will study the same program, you will be part of the Sunderland University and the alumni when you graduate. But with the total cost of studying and living here in Greece at AAS will be the same. That would be just the tuition fees if you studied in the UK campus. So you save more than half. If you think about it. You save a lot of money.
Yes, maybe. And also I have to inform the students that every one of you will study, if you choose AAS for as your study destination, you will study a British program and be awarded a British degree and live in the sunny Greece, as it is told earlier. But if you want to have some British experience, I think it is easy to achieve it with exchange programs. We can spend a semester, for example, in the partner University of Sunderland without paying to the university its tuition fees. You will pay the tuition fees at AAS, which is half price, but we have, of course, to cover the living expenses for just one semester in UK. But if you strongly want to have this experience during your study, I think it's an affordable pathway.
So I suppose Zoe and George, I'm already coming to study at Greece because you already sold me it.
You're welcome. Okay.
Also, I will add my email address for all of you if you're gonna have like the questions, specific questions, because definitely it's one of the best choices comparing everything: quality, climate, lifestyle. Everything together, putting like it's fantastic destination. So definitely who are listening today, probably you're going to be looking afterwards. So you need to count everything. I mean, not just living costs, not just cost of the studies. You also need to count like work experience, international experience, the climate also, because many of you like you really would choose to study where it's really warm. So putting all together, it's really, really, really place to discuss where to go to make your studies.
May I add career opportunities? Not during studies only, because there are other as well cheap destinations to study, and even some of them might be in a sunny country, but it's not a British degree. It's not
British
a
education
UK
degree.
exactly.
Yes.
UK education costs a lot and can only traditionally be done in UK. We have managed through the full franchise partnerships. This is what creates this unique opportunity, is the type of partnership we have with the UK institutions. You can come here and study the same program in Greece, less tuition fees, more comfort life, in my opinion, and sunny and everything. But you are not settling with the career opportunities after graduation. You have the same career opportunities. So this is, in my perspective, at least as a student services officer, that I always support and mentor students. This is the key point. And this is what makes me happy, seeing students having a great success after the studies as well. During the studies, we will fully support them. Everything will go smooth, as always. My biggest happier hour, let's say, is after graduation, that I see students succeed in jobs and companies that are extreme, USA and stuff like that. And it is extremely nice. That cannot be achieved through Greek education or other local universities. Only a UK degree can provide you this.
Okay. Okay, keep going, Zoe.
Yes, I don't know if there is any student that's interested in master programs, but I have to say that master in design programs have just one intake per year, every October. The next year is the classes start on 10th of October 2022. And we talk about the tuition fees. Yes, I think if someone there is that interesting can contact us, send email, and he will receive some more information. Yes. Also, I would like to add that it will be great opportunity for students to join us because of the reasons that we explain, I think, quite extensively. And also because I think because we speak about design and Thessaloniki, I don't mention Greece, but especially Thessaloniki, is the city of designers. Many designers, not just Greeks, but from any other European country or USA, come here because it is friendly, it is cheap, not the cost of living is affordable. And it is, they prefer Thessaloniki to live here and create here and work with the rest of the world. Because of the evolution in technology, it is easier to live in Thessaloniki, for example, and work with the USA. The cost of living is cheap, the salary is high, so you are rich in Greece, working with abroad. On the other hand, many of our graduates continue with studies in many universities worldwide in postgraduate level, for example, and have created and stay in many countries abroad and work there and have established amazing careers. When someone completes his bachelor program, can continue in master here at AAS or to the Mother University of Sunderland in UK. And as a graduate of the University of Sunderland has a discount in the tuition fees of 20% that usually the British University do to their graduates. Or continue in any apply and get admission because of the British degree in any other university in postgraduate level. Yes, there are, I think, if your study and degree is recognizable worldwide, there are no limit. If you want to continue with studies, there is no limit. And if you want to work, to start to work, there is no limit and no borders in countries, I think. Yes.
That's correct, Zoe. That's correct. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm always telling to the students. Because you need to plan your career, not just to choose the study program, not just to choose the university, but also to think about those things, what you're going to be doing after the university and where the biggest value is. So one of the biggest values, like that diploma recognition worldwide. Mm-hmm. So as I mentioned, like I have already typed my email address. So all of you, like, they're going to have your personal questions. I mean, like about application, about motivation letter, about like applying documents. I'm going to be the person who's going to help you with all those things to sort it out, to make it really smooth, to get the correct answers and to explain all the procedures. So who are really interesting? After the webinar, you just can type. We're going to make an individual consultation. We're going to speak about, like, for example, design. We're going to speak about the portfolio, how to make what pieces of work you need to be introduced, about diploma and the rest of the things, like, which needs to be done to get the place at the university.
Okay.
And if somebody has more questions, please type them now, and we will try to answer them. If there will be no questions, probably there was a lot of information which was quite clear and understandable. Probably that's why it's not so much questions. And at the end, I want to thank to Zoe and to you, George. It was really interesting to listen to you. And definitely, like, that's one of the best options to choose. So that's for sure.
Yes, we thank you that we gave the opportunity to inform your audience about what we could offer to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nerijus. Thank
Yeah, and guys, like this webinar is also recorded, so we all also like we're sharing this information. Like participants wasn't that much, but we all every single time we're sharing this information, like between students who really potentially would be interesting to come. First of all, about that kind of study programs, and after those selling points, like which we were discussing today. So it was really a pleasure, guys, to talk to you and to all the participants. You're welcome, Yulia.
You're welcome, Yulia. We thank you for your participation.
And at the last, like guys, like who are listening, it's really important, the education, and always like the final thing what you need to think about is the value which you're gonna get. And when you find the value, you're gonna find the ways how to read them. That's the way things works in life. So all the best to all of you, and
Yes.
we're gonna speak
Okay.
later. Bye, guys.
Okay. Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you all.